All right. Today we're gonna just talk about some AI. Specifically, we started using Google AI Studio and just some of the cool features. I know for me, one of the things I tried using, which I don't know if it was super great, but it at least was a start and it was kind of cool, was the screen casting. So if you want, you can talk about some of the stuff you've been using first, but I definitely want to talk about the screen casting ability a little bit. Yeah, so go ahead and talk about some of the things you've
Sure.
done.
I'd be interested in hearing more about that because I haven't used that at all.
It's kind of
But
cool.
I just hopped in there last week, end of last week, just to see what kind of programs I could spit out with Google AI Studio. And I was actually really impressed with how quickly I could get features onto a web page. I started working with like a certificate of insurance tracker because if you haven't worked with certificates of insurance, uh, it's usually like a contractor comes on your property and you're required to get a certificate of insurance. Otherwise, if you get into an audit, like an unemployment audit or not unemployment, workers
Workers'
comp,
comp.
they'll make you pay for the contractor doing work on your property. Because if he gets hurt and doesn't have insurance,
It's
and
your fault.
then yeah, you're liable. So, and some of these things will have like three or more insurances listed on them, each with different expiration dates. What really is important though is you pick the one with the closest expiration date and write that down somewhere. And remember to get another COI from that contractor when it expires or when it's close to expiring. But you could have 40 of these COIs and they all expire at different times. So I hopped on to Google AI Studio and I was like, I want to make a program that tracks certificates of insurance from contractors. Critical information I need to keep track of is the date of expiration, the contractor name, the insurer's contact info, and like the contractor's info. And it just spat out a program for me. And it was fast. Now I've had to do some adjustments to it, but just being able to talk to the computer just like I would ChatGPT. Well, when I say talk, type. I've not tried any of the voice
I have.
communication. Is it good?
It's decent, but I'll talk.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'll talk about that one.
Okay. Um, and so, like, first, it was really good. As I've taken a bit of time to like adjust it. It, for whatever reason, had real problems having a delete function. So I could add COIs and then even put in a function where I could pull information from the COI and put it into the text boxes. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. And yeah, I would go to delete and it wouldn't work. And I'm like, it doesn't work. Try again. Doesn't work. Try again. Um, and so finally, I had to tell it. The prompting is interesting because I have to prompt it right or it doesn't work, which is kind of the first time that I've run into AI being like, oh, my prompt actually mattered. And the way I got around it was add this function where you can delete a document, then test it like a user would, and do not stop until you have successfully done this. Or test it like a user would until no errors appear, and don't stop trying until you fixed it. And that did it. That solved it.
Nice. Prompt
Um,
engineering.
uh-huh. I don't know if it was the telling me to test it like a user would, or because I told it to look for errors before, but I think the key difference was the like, don't actually just come back and be like, it's fixed, and it's not. Uh,
Hallucinations.
yeah. And then the other thing that I'm trying to figure out is it powerful enough to create a database that is shareable? Because right now it's saving everything onto my browsers. Apparently, there's some browser database that's like index something.
Oh,
So it works on my browser,
Yeah.
But if I share the link with somebody, they don't see any of the data that I've already put in. So I'm trying to figure that one out. I don't know how easy that will be, but yeah,
So when you were building the web page for the initial like COI tracker, did you have to use a domain or did you just use like a random, like how did you get it to show up on the web page?
I just used whatever they spat out for me. So I finished it, I saved it, well, finished it, saved it, and then went to deploy it. Uh, and for a non-web person, the pricing is kind of weird. Trying to figure out what's actually how much is going to be free and how much isn't. I went ahead and put in my card information or whatever because they required it before you deploy something.
Oh
But
wait. Oh, okay. For Google AI, they have their
they,
own
yeah,
like
they have
hosting.
their own deployment, and it's not clear to me if I can change the URL or how like putting in passwords and whatever will work. But I just wanted to test it, so I went to deploy, and I'm still on the free tier, and it shoots out a Google.app, some gobbledygook, and you can send that link to people.
Interesting. So have you ever tried AppSheet? It's like I think it's a Google extension that allows you to build no code or not no code apps. No, yeah. Yeah, it allows you to build no code apps or you can use some code if you want, but you should definitely check it out because just to see if like it would be worth your time. I think there's definitely a learning curve. I haven't gone and
Hmm.
learned the software yet. Um, but I've heard there's a lot of capability from that. So I don't know. I mean, if it allows you
What was it called? Sheet app?
other way around, app sheet.
App sheet.
And I'm pretty
Just
sure
a
you can
piece of
like,
sheet.
I'm pretty sure you can build apps that you can share internally with a team. Like I think that's the whole point.
Hmm.
So if Google AI Studio doesn't work the way you want it to work in terms of sharing, you might be able to build it with AppSheet. So, but anyway,
Okay.
that's cool. That's really cool. I haven't used that. Like I haven't tried to do that with it yet. But one of the things that I tried to do, which I would say that it is 60% of where it should, well, not where it should be, of where it needs to be in order to work fully
Hmm.
functionally with uh the ability to screencast your screen and talk to it. So basically what you do is
Oh yeah.
you give it access to your screen and then you'd be like, "Hey, my mouse is right here. Um, I want to show you for okay, so a specific example was I was trying to figure out an connection from the automation software that I'm using to Excel because for some reason it wants to be stupid and I can only connect like a business Microsoft account versus just a personal Microsoft account
Oh.
for some reason. I don't know. So I might end up having to pay for business just for a month, just like to see how it works.
Hmm.
Anyways, I was trying this for like hours trying to figure out how to do this because chat was not helping me. Like it would give me some stuff and I was like, I already did that. I already tried that. I've tried
Hmm.
that like 7 times. So I need you to give me some other way to do it, which is why I feel like I'm gonna end up just paying for the business account anyways. But I screencast my screen, which had N8N on it, and then obviously I could flip tabs and go to like Microsoft and stuff. But I was like, okay, I'm on the Excel node inside of N8N. Here are the different credentials that I need for Microsoft. Help me figure out on my Microsoft screen where to find those credentials, and then I would flip to the Microsoft screen. And
Mm.
the only problem is it would ask more questions than answers. It'd be like, well, have you tried like have you tried this and that and like what else? I don't know. It just that's why I say it's like 60% there because it's cool and it's definitely a step in a cool direction, but it's
Hmm.
not fully
It's not there yet.
functional where like it will actually give you answers that are helpful. It just
Yeah.
kept asking more questions, and I was like, dude, like I'm trying to figure this out, and you're not helping me at all. So then I just
Uh-huh.
screencasting and stuff, but it was a cool start. Like if they can, not that I want AI to take over my computer, but if they could build it so that it would actually be helpful, then I would use it a lot. Be like, hey, this is on my
Hmm.
screen. How do I do this? Or like, what do I need to input credentials for this? So it was cool. And you really just talk to it. You don't type as much with
Yeah.
screencasting. And so it would take like little recordings, I guess, and then it would answer and it would wait for me to say something. Sometimes it would cut me off if I was like thinking for a little bit too long before I finished my sentence. So you have to really talk fast. You're like, okay, so now this is my screen and I'm trying to find the credentials and can you help me? And I'm like, I know this is not grammarly correct at all in what I'm saying, but I just gotta spit words out and figure out my thoughts, or else it's gonna cut me off and be worse than it was gonna be anyways. So yeah,
Can
but it
you
was pretty
slow
cool.
down the rate of its responses?
I don't know. I've not tried that, but I've definitely thought about that with ChatGPT because there's been some times where I'll turn on the voice uh
Hmm.
on ChatGPT, like put it up in my car and then I'll just talk to it about something. I'm like, okay, I have this problem or I need help finding a solution to this thing. Um, and I've never tried to like slow it down, but that would be interesting and helpful because
That would be
with
helpful.
ChatGPT, I have to just start spitting out words that I'm trying to get off my mind so that
Yeah.
it doesn't cut me off.
I I've wondered, although if people don't use Google, they may not use AI.
True.
There were many times in life where, mostly thinking of older generation, would ask like, how do I do this? How do how'd you do that on the computer? And just being able to have an AI look at your screen and be like, how do I put an attachment on my email? Uh, would be nice.
I love
But
that old person voice.
I yeah, that's my general, like, I don't know, ignorant old lady voice. Uh
With your bundle and your fire and
yes. I just need to throw a cat in there and it'll be perfect. But the I don't know how easy it is to use, but I think it would be great if you can. I don't know if you can ask it to highlight stuff like, where do
oh
I
yeah,
go on the screen? Um,
that would be
Almost
cool.
as an overlay.
Oh yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense because I was thinking it really only records your screen, it doesn't have access, but if it could overlay a highlight somewhere
Uh
and
huh.
show you different spots
I
that
know a couple of vendors we work with. When you remote in, they can't control your computer, but they can overlay and indicate where to
interesting.
go.
It's like on Zoom when someone's sharing their screen, you can draw on it.
Yeah. Yes. Uh huh.
That would be
Almost.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Very
Interesting.
similar.
Yeah.
I need to try some of the chatting with AI because ever increasingly, I love the idea of being able to take a book that I have in PDF form, give it to an AI, and just chat with it like hands free. But I've not actually tried it. So
Well, it's going to force you to be really good at thinking through what you're going to say before you say it.
hey, I mean that's the benefit of writing as well. Same thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The
What,
thinking process.
uh, shoot. Oh, when you were saying old people who I very much respect, honestly, but people who are like, how do I do this? I thought you were going to mention the joke that it's like, well, just ask Google. The reason I say that is because my family, and when it comes to tech, does not is not super techy. I mean, one of my brothers is the one who you know. Um,
Hmm.
the rest of my family is not very techy, and they'll always be like,
Good
"How do
job
I do
avoiding a
this?"
name there, Caleb.
Try my best. Um, the rest of them are not very techy, and they'll always ask me to do stuff, and I'm like, Did you ask Google at all? Like, did
I
you even
know. No,
try to
they
Google
didn't.
it?
They did not ask.
Because the first link would have been perfectly fine showing you how to do this. Or
Uh-huh.
any YouTube video could have showed you how to do this. They're like,
Uh-huh.
how do I reset my password? You really think there's no YouTube videos on how to reset your password? Come on. That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah.
We
Um,
had an interesting chat with somebody that we're thinking of doing some work with uh, at work. It's somebody we're thinking about like doing a workshop for. They know a lot of business owners, and we're trying to figure out how to get our name out there. And she said for this group of business owners, bookkeeping would be really good. And I made the comment that like a lot of what we do is not because business owners are not smart enough to do it themselves, but it's like psychological in nature. And the example I gave was like QuickBooks ledgers. The benefit of it is not necessarily for a small business owner, it's not necessarily that it really is going to increase your productivity all that much. But um, if you're putting all your expenses in Excel and then you get to August and the motivation of tax season is over and you just quit putting receipts in and then you forget about it and then you're in November and you're like, oh crud, what did I buy in September? uh like it, if you get a QuickBooks subscription, it's all lined up there for you in the bank feed and you don't have to try to remember it as much. And her comment was like the lady that's choreographing, she's like, yeah, in my business we have that problem, we haven't put in some expenses for a while. And that's like, there you go, much of this is psychological, not technical.
that is true.
uh,
That is true.
that just made me think of like, people are, you're there, it's easier to ask you to do it for some reason than to just Google it.
The funniest part is sometimes I don't know how to do the thing and I Google it. Like I
Yes.
literally go
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
like, you
exactly
actually
what you
added more
said.
steps by asking me about
Uh-huh.
it because I would have done the same thing that you could have done yourself.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Not to go off topic, but the realtor that I'm working with, on books, I just, what you said made me think of this. So he used to do all this stuff on Excel, and then now that I'm helping him do stuff, uh, he signed up for some QuickBooks accounts, but like his Lowe's receipts, there are, I think, 80 receipts from like the last month or two because he was doing a remodel and so he was buying a bunch of materials.
Mm.
And the funny part is, uh, he was gone a lot and I was like trying to do some of the QuickBooks stuff myself, which I mean, I don't know all of the different categories for every transaction, so I like need his help. And so the reason why I say all of this is because he would be gone and I would be trying to do some stuff and I couldn't really get much done and like he
Yeah.
wasn't really making a priority, which I mean he had other stuff to do. But then we took like a drive down to his property in Waterside. I mean, sorry, his property in Franklin. It's like an RV park and little motel. And because I was forcing him to do it, we got like 90% of everything done because it wasn't
Yep.
about like it being too complex. It was about he just needed to make it a priority and like actually
Mm-hmm.
do it. And so then when we got done, he was like, "Man, we should do this more because we got so much done." I was like, "Well, you should probably
Exactly.
like just help me figure out transactions more because that's how we're gonna do it."
Yep.
But yeah, it was just like a perfect example of what you're saying, where it's not
Yeah. I
like
have definitely thought that if you've got a local client, it might be well worth the time to have us show up at their office, set up an appointment and show up at their office, be like, I'm here, we're going to do this thing, because it would just go way faster.
yeah,
And it's the getting them to do it, not how hard the work is, that's the problem. We've
exactly.
had good um good experiences with Spark through Capital One. It's one of those like where you have to, a couple clients have it set up where you categorize the transaction when you make the purchase, and it comes through suggested, but one of those eight, like they can only choose from eight of the categories, and one of them, or 10, whatever, and one of them is review. So if they truly don't know, it's review. But it comes through with a receipt. It has a category on it. Um, it's wonderful
That is really nice.
because they don't have to touch the transaction. Like it's literally as they're checking out, the transaction hits Spark. They're sent a text. I need a picture of the receipt and a category.
Dang. Is the person who is planning this potential workshop event, are they a client or are they not a client?
So it's like an organization that works with organizations, and
Like
they're
a
not a
small
client,
organization.
but their whole shtick is like we get funding from whatever the Tippecanoe Commerce and from the Small Business Administration to help small businesses. And they said we don't charge the people who do the presentations, so it's all free for our small business clients. But the payoff is you get your name out there, and if somebody comes looking for an accountant or whatever, we're like, well, we've worked with these people in the past to do presentations and stuff. So it's kind of a free advertising, getting exposure to small business clients, but
How
also
do
you're
they
being
make money?
helpful in the process.
How does that organization make money?
They're a nonprofit,
Oh,
so it's mostly donations from, I
okay.
think Purdue partners with them, like Purdue's, I think, is it the Forge? I can't remember. There's at least one or more organizations at Purdue that they get like grants to help small businesses. And then she did say the SBA and um, Chamber of Commerce. That's what I meant. Are the
Interesting.
ones that she mentioned that they get funding from. But
Cool.
yeah,
So, have you heard of the ChatGPT App Store?
mm-mm.
So, I want to get your thoughts on like what you think is the future with this and whether you'll use it or not, etc. So ChatGPT recently launched what they called an app store, which is basically pre-qualified apps like Spotify, Zillow, Canva, some other different apps that you can connect specifically to ChatGPT and access without leaving the ChatGPT uh like
Oh,
user
environment.
interface.
Yeah.
And my thought initially is like, okay, that's pretty cool, it'll allow you to do more stuff, specifically with like Canva or something like that. That would be really helpful for a lot of marketing people and people who build designs and presentations and stuff. But then my thought is, well, I was reading an article, so part of this is not my thought, part of this is my thought. The thing that the article is talking about is ChatGPT is like has complete control on who wins and who doesn't when it comes to software, which is not necessarily a bad thing because in terms of there are other forces that cause software to win and such in the free market, even though
Mm-hmm.
I mean we say it's free, but it's kind of not, kind of is, whatever. But the bad part is they do have complete control, so they can kill a software if they want to, if everyone's using ChatGPT to access that software, or they can artificially boost another software. So I don't know. There's good and bad in that. And then the other thought, which is my thought, is how connected are we going to be with AI and how dependent are we going to be on AI to access everything? Because like right
Mm-hmm.
now, you talk to AI, then you go into the app and you go do something. Whereas with this new ability to access apps inside the AI, like you might just never leave the AI software, which
Right.
then creates a weird world where you're just like, you're never not using AI. Like you're literally always using AI to access everything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this development?
Yeah, that is kind of a weird incentive structure because you you think like they're going to be incentivized to have people use the apps that use the most tokens or whatever the chat GPTs, like they want people using chat GPT. So it'd be easy to kind of change that. But at the same time, Zillow is the number one in America app for looking for homes. So like, are you really going to go to the realtor app? Um, so I don't know. Yeah, maybe the incentives are not that great, but um, will it be a significant problem? Not sure.
The thing is,
They do have the capability of
ChatGPT.
incentivizing use of GPT,
Okay,
whichever
let me
apps have
let me
integrated.
verify this. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right number because I don't want to say the wrong number. But my thought kind of is, yes, Zillow's number one, but is this gonna um wow, okay. Holy cow. 800 million weekly active users reported in September 2025. So I like that is almost a billion people using this app. And so if realtor.com, so if ChatGPT says, okay, we're going to take Zillow, but we're not going to take Realtor, is that just going to increase the difference? Like, is that going to create a monopoly with Realtor apps or whatever, or any of the software that they're like, hey, we're going to take the number one app, but we're not going to take the number two app for
Mm-hmm.
giving the number one app, even half, 400 million more users or whatever. I don't know. It's just, it's creating a weird moat that I don't know if it's good or bad. Like if it's too unfair and not
Yeah.
free market. I don't know.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, I'm going to recant that comment about they're going to prioritize things that use ChatGPT because most of those apps that have integrated AI have their own models that they may have purchased from GPT, but do not directly use GPT. And I feel like that's going to be more of the, since data is expensive, they're going to start doing that more often. So it may not even be a problem there. But uh, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out. I don't tend to be an early adopter, so like when I hear that, I'm like, why would I want to access other apps through ChatGPT? I don't even like ChatGPT. It just lies to you. uh, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of ambivalent on that.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it affects people, but I could definitely see some negative effects coming from this. And even going further and thinking about just like use of technology,
Mm-hmm.
if everything is inside of OpenAI's system, like they have control. Like they're just, yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but I definitely foresee some potential negatives from this kind of structure. But, there could be positives too. So I'm not gonna discount.
There's enough other AIs. I mean, the fact that I use Perplexity enough that if ChatGPT comes up with something that's super useful, and the thing about all this technology stuff is that we've got a lot of other companies. Like, it used to be like Google was the only company with the resources big enough to do certain things. But now we're getting to the point where some of these AI companies are similarly resourced and they're not patented. It's technology, and it's not what do I mean proprietary technology. Um, so it's like shovel enough money at it, and eventually you can catch up with the competitors. The fact that Microsoft can't get their crap together enough to make a useful AI indicates to me that uh, oh, this is a very level playing field. Um,
Yeah, what I've heard though is that the paid version of Copilot,
Copilot.
there's like there's like the my there's the free Copilot, the Microsoft 365 version of Copilot, and then Copilot that you specifically pay for Copilot. And
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that that one is better from someone who uses AI a bit, but the free version and the Microsoft
Garbage,
365 version,
total garbage. If you're
not.
trying to get people on your paid platform, don't hand them garbage as a free trial. It's terrible.
Yeah,
uh, the the landscape of AI is so broad, and you have so many other options that if you don't have a good experience with one after several tries, you're just going to stop. Um, and most people I talk to have not tried AI, or they got on ChatGPT and talked to it a little bit, and that's as far as they've gone.
yeah,
Or they notice that when they Google now, there's a little AI blurb. That's about it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what was your other comment about interacting with AI technology?
Well, my first comment was that top softwares are going to be even more top softwares and potentially become monopolies, especially with 800 million weekly users. But the second comment was, um, like just the not ever leaving an AI model. Like our life is inside of an AI model. It just, it's like I can see a lot of negatives with being addicted to GPT because all the apps that you access are in GPT. All the information you need is in GPT. Your
Mm-hmm.
best friend is GPT. So, I mean, there's
Yeah.
people who are literally having dating relationships with AI models.
Yes.
And it's not like a
Yes.
small number. It's like hundreds of millions.
Yeah. I do not. I don't understand that. That's
The thing
I guess
is,
I just don't have the unique pathologies to make me want to do that.
well, the other thing is you actually have good relationships in your life. People are
Yeah.
so stuck in technology that they're scared to go do something social and therefore don't have any relationships and then need an AI that's going to talk to them and tell them exactly what they want every single
Uh-huh.
time and never
Yep.
make them feel bad. And so then they get addicted to that AI. It's like honestly, it's kind of sick because then the AI has control over what you think and what you because
Mm-hmm.
you're addicted to it. It's weird.
I I to me it's kind of I'm a techno optimist for the most part. Uh and I'm not sure, like, I kind of put it in the realm of social media where the people who are good at using tools will have an even more powerful tool to use. And the people who are already having problems with YouTube and Facebook will have ever more problems with YouTube AI and Facebook AI, whatever the equivalent of those things already are.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I know guys that it's like their entire life is on Instagram and then TikTok.
I
Like
think it's crazy.
they don't do anything else.
Yeah.
It's just anytime they're sitting. If you want to be on your phone while you're sitting, I don't care. There's a million things you can do with your phone. Many of them productive. But if you're like literally just scrolling Instagram, like this is garbage, total
I think
garbage.
that's like 90% of people in my generation, like
Mm-hmm.
in the 20s and teens,
Yeah,
is as soon as you sit down, you just scroll on Instagram. That's
yeah.
what
Basically,
you
what
do.
I'm saying is it's a difference in what is it in amount, not in kind. So it's just it's a leveraging tool. It's gonna make if you've got problems, it's gonna make them worse. If you're good at finding solutions, it's gonna make them better. Uh,
Speaking of which, um, like in terms of problems for men, like OpenAI is going to start allowing, as long as you're of a certain age,
Mm-hmm.
like more explicit conversations.
Mm.
I think that it's
Well,
already bad.
conversations, that might not be a problem for men as much as women. Uh,
True, true.
Women's rate of porn consumption is similarly high, but much of it is textual.
Yeah, like the romance novels that are
Mm-hmm.
super
The
weird.
visual generation will probably be worse for men.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways,
But there's already an abundance of that. So, and yes, it is more tantalizing. But there again,
but
I have a
imagine if they
similar
let you
feeling
create
about.
your own images of
Mm-hmm.
anything. Like then,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep going down that path, but
there's a uh, there's a relatively good literature on how that makes real life interactions with your spouse
yeah,
or girlfriend or whatever your life choices are much
yeah,
more difficult.
yeah.
It's just you're not we're not wired though to handle that for sure.
I I
Uh,
I would say that I tend to be a techno optimist as well, but recently I have seen a lot of negative effects of different tech, and so I'm maybe becoming less of a techno optimist, but I'm trying to balance both sides because
yeah.
you can you can definitely go far in either direction, saying everything's
Mhm.
gonna be horrible or everything's gonna be great and there's gonna be nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to balance it, but I've just seen a
Have
lot.
you read Brave New World?
I don't think I have.
That you don't have to read the whole book, but if uh, maybe even a synopsis of the book or a abridged version of the book. But it's
I'll use
as
AI to
far as
summarize
sci
it for me.
yeah, as far as sci-fi goes, it is not that enjoyable. Like I wouldn't just read it for enjoyment, but it is fascinating to watch us basically become Brave New World. Um, it's kind of like people get their lives are good enough that the they just kind of fall prey to their own hedonistic whims. And so the main character who is grew up on a reservation comes into the modern world and is just like aghast. And everybody see him as like a savage. But of course it's like the mirrored narrative where really the modern people are the savages. And
Yeah.
anyway, it made me think that, or what made me think of it is like, yeah, humans really are not prepared for 24/7 entertainment, which we saw previously, but it was relegated to the realm of like sports. Like, those people who um, are totally absorbed with sports teams and all they ever talk about are sports teams. They don't play the sport, they just talk about the teams.
I'd rather play
And
the sport than watch the team.
yeah, exactly. Like they just watch football when March Madness is happening or when football season is on. They're just doing that thing, um, and it's like, yeah, people are not they're not wired to handle that much entertainment. Um, and I feel like internet is now bringing more people into that realm.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of a similar before Instagram and before YouTube, something that absorbed that much. I mean, the guys who are doing weed and who are only ever talking about doing weed when they're not doing weed, it's similar, but like it's more of a material than I guess you could call that an entertainment. Um, yeah. So like that has surprised me is people's inability to find passive entertainment somehow tantalizing 100% of the time. Like if I watch something for 2 hours, I,
It's
I
horrible.
I get bored. I'm like, I'm gonna go do something else. I'm going to
Yes.
go do something else.
I'm like, why have I been sitting so long? This is horrible. Let me go
Yes.
run, or well, I never
Uh-huh.
run, but
I don't run
let
because
me
I
go do
hate.
my 10-minute workout.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Um, Recently at work, I've been talking to a couple coworkers about kids and phones, and
Oh,
I just I
Get a
don't
dumb
like.
phone. I'm telling you,
Well, yeah, for my
give your kid a
kid,
dumb phone. Yeah,
um, I like smartphone too much. It is way too handy. I love it. Um, but
that's
yeah,
why I'm not. That's why I'm trying to get a dumb phone because the smartphone is too handy, and I'm trying to be more intentional about my tech use. So I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, if that's what you got to do to not spend as much time on your phone, I think that's valid. I spend too much time on my phone, but I've been doing better about when I come home, I'll set my phone in the bedroom, but I don't spend any time in the bedroom. So like it's just there. Like the other night, I was like getting ready for the bed, and I was like, "Where's my phone? I haven't had it since I got home." Um,
That's cool.
so yeah, like just out of sight, out of mind. Like I would have to walk into a different room on the other side of the house in order to pick it up. Um, so I'm not like I should check my texts. Let me walk on the other side of the house. Uh, but where was I going with that? Oh, but the way I hear people talk about kids with their phones, and one of the people yesterday I asked, like, so you just made a comment, and I was like, do you really? Is it worth it? Like, if you went back in time, would you still give your kid a phone? And this person was like, yeah, yeah, I think I would. It was just so hard for them socially. And
Right.
in my head, the whole time, I was thinking,
No.
yeah, I'm not doing that.
When do you think you're gonna give your kid a phone?
Probably 18 when he can buy his own phone. Yeah,
I would
I would
say,
not be surprised if we gave him a dumb phone, like just a flip phone, a track
yeah,
phone, or whatever.
yeah,
Um, just because it's nice to be connected. And I'm definitely trained out of how it was when I was a kid, where my mom would fret about like, well, where's Sadie? I mean, she hasn't called. And I'm like, yeah, she's probably dead in a ditch somewhere. It's like, well, you wouldn't know until she showed up. So, or didn't ever show up.
yeah.
Uh,
I think for our kids, max, like the latest it would be is when they can drive. Because once they can drive, I would definitely want them to have a phone to be able to be like, hey, this is where I'm going, or like, so that I don't know. I
yeah.
just think them
And
driving gives them a lot more flexibility, and they might need a phone to
right,
call,
right.
make sure that
Yeah,
we know
yeah. I think a
they're
phone
going.
is a good tool, and I want them to have communication. Now, a smartphone or a dumb phone?
Oh, dumb phone.
Yeah.
I'm not giving them a smartphone. I myself am probably gonna go do a dumb phone once this thing dies. Because I found a dumb phone that has the basics. So it has
Mm,
maps, notes, messages, phone, camera, and I can sideload Spotify. And then that's pretty much all I need. Like I don't really
hmm.
need anything else. I don't even, the only reason I have a browser on this phone is because Apple, for some reason, said that I couldn't use the phone without a browser. Like it literally
Oh,
popped up saying it is necessary to have a browser in order to use. And I was like, what the? Because for a
interesting.
while I didn't have a browser and I literally didn't make a difference in my life at all.
Yeah.
I would just look something up on
Are
my
very
computer.
unlike each other.
Well, the thing is, I would write it down and I would look it up on my computer
uh,
versus the phone, which is right there. So
uh,
I would still do it. It was just more intentional and it didn't really take that much extra time. Instead, I could look up a
yeah.
whole bunch of different things at the same time. Um, and with my computer, when I look something up, I could actually do something with it. Whereas with my phone, I would just send it back to myself to remind myself to do
Mm.
something on my computer.
Oh, I
So it was
see.
like,
Yeah.
it didn't really make a difference in my life. And I don't take pictures a lot.
Mm.
So having a more basic camera is fine for me.
Hmm.
Ironically, my wife's little sister was showing me the amount of pictures that she's taken. And in the past year, I have not taken as many pictures as she has in the past week, which was pretty wild. But, you know, I just tend not to. My wife tends to take pictures. I don't. So if she wants a nice camera on her phone, that's totally
Yep.
fine. I
Yep.
just don't really feel the need to have that right now. So, And if I can still listen to Spotify, then that's fine with me. Listen to
I
podcasts.
was gonna say a lot of what audiobooks and podcasts are a big part of my phone.
Yeah.
And ever increasingly AI readings of PDFs,
Yeah.
which is super helpful for me anyway.
Yeah.
Travel time is becoming better.
You got anything else?
I think that's about it for me.
Alrighty. That's the podcast. Let them know what our email is.
Send us email, jc.unscripted@gmail.com.
Alrighty. That's the
Boom.
podcast.